About a month ago, we just completed drilling and testing a delineation well in Rembang zone. The result was encouraging. That's why I select this topic, which is new prediction of working clay type in Rembang zone, West Cepu High and surrounding area. Why it is so dramatically different to East Cepu High? We have a map in here, the location of Rembang zone, and then West Cepu High and East Cepu High. We see the structural alignment in general is southwest northeast, representing the Paleogene extensional phase, and then east-west structural alignment depicting the Neogene reactivation. We have constructing two composite seismic line, which is in here A to B to explain the well location that has been drilled, and also regional composite in here from C to D, north to south, crossing the well location as well. Discoveries has been reported in excess more than 800 million barrel oil and also 600 BCF of gas from oligomyosine, ujung carbonate. Most of them are concentrating in the East Cepu High, such as Mudi, Sukowati, Banyu Urip, Jambaran, Kedung Tuban, Kedung Lusi, and so on. General knowledge that Rembang zone, West Cepu High, and East Cepu High are similar isolated carbonate platform that the formation are controlled by segmented basement height. But why there is no commercial discovery in the Rembang zone or West Cepu High after 4 decades of exploration? Talking about regional setting, there is two major tectonic events, which is southwest northeast trending representing the Paleogene, and then east-west representing the Neogene reactivation. Neogene tectonic related to strike slip is the major structural control in this area. Stratigraphically, there is two mega sequence. We can see in this cross section, which is the Paleogene mega sequence and then Neogene mega sequence, where ujung carbonate marks the boundary between these two mega sequence. I took advantage from previous researcher on East Cepu High that each petroleum system aspect has been described and supported by massive well data and also 3D seismic. This is the 3D seismic of East Cepu High. We see platform carbonate and also high relief carbonate build up. This in East Cepu High, generally, the trap is pinnacle carbonate, which contribute to ideal trap for significant accumulation. There is more than 8 pinnacle reef with similar growth history in this area. And then if we're talking about the lithophases, for example, in Banyu Urip, it has been described they have 2 lithophases, which is aggregating phases dominated by waxstone and packstone to coral rich bondstone, while the another lithophases is retrograding phases, which is deposited in deeper environment dominated by platy coral and red algae interbedded with waxstone and packstone. Reservoir quality are poor to excellent, with porosity and permeability up to 35% and 1,000 millidarcies, respectively. How about lithophases in Rembang zone? We have 3 wells in here, which is R1, KY1, and T1. Lithophases description based on visual cutoff compared to lithophases described in thin section from wells in different area here. The lithophases dominated by skeletal packstone on the top, and then globigerina waxstone, the lighter blue here, and then a mudstone on the below with a gray color. So Ujung carbonate in this area in Rembang zone has a different growth history, deposited as reef for slope or isolated platform with uniform thickness between 80 to 230 foot, and to the north in the shallow shelf the thickness up to 1500 foot. We see the different characteristic in here in thin section. However, the thin section cannot capture the characteristic of secondary porosity, the fracture of Ujung reservoir in Rembang zone. In general, carbonate in the shallow shelf in KY1 well in the north part here has better porosity and permeability. And then the reservoir quality in general in R1 here, best at the top section and degraded to the bottom. And also laterally to the western area from here to here and to the south to P1 well, the quality also degraded in terms of the net sand or the porosity and permeability. So it is very important how we identify and describe these lithophases to know the reservoir quality. From recent drilling result, it was very encouraging that it should be followed by more study and development for this discovery. We have from well testing the flow rate more than 20 mm scarf per day with elevated CO2 up to 60%. We think that this finding confirms that searching oil leg in Ujung would need new concept and prediction. We go to this composite seismic line. Ujung is the best strong reflector in this area, and we see here to the north from this R1 well, the top of Ujung cannot be delineated clearly, so not shown up as strong as this area. We can infer that probably it is a isolated platform carbonate. This is very important for the future exploration and development, which is isolated or attached land carbonate, which is to the south edge to the north here. A previous explorer focused on oil discovery. We have about 9 wells in this area, including R1, P1, KR1, and PWD1. We see in here most of well drilled on the anticlinal structure. From 9 wells has been drilled, 2 of them has marginal gas discovery with high CO2, which is R1 and PWD1. Well and seismic evaluation, most well were drilled on weak trap or off structure like this. The main objective is the CD section, while in the Ujung is off the structure. Also KR1 off structure. Yeah. Fault dependent structure has contributed to weak trap integrity. For example, this one, and also in the next well which is in T1 in here, which is a fault-dependent structure. Fault-dependent structure contributed to weak trap integrity, and what important in here is combination of anticlinal feature and juxtaposition of the Ujung reservoir with share of tuban in the overlying section and also crunchy in the in the below section. Very important to give better shield, also charge from the hydrocarbon. Structures forming during late Miocene are readily identified on seismic like this. This is very easy to identify from seismic. However, they are generally dry because their origin postdate the main phase of hydrocarbon generation. While pre-late Miocene structures are unattractive exploration target due to their existence before oil generation. Pleistocene uplift has brought Ujung, this one Ujung, to the shallower depth, possibly responsible for the abnormal pressure. This is very good for our gas reservoir. If we go back to the map here, where Ujung is in this Cepu high is in deep burial. It's much deeper than in Rembang zone. An existing trap, mostly stratigraphic, remains shield and reported has normal pressure. This different typical trap between two areas has played important role for hydrocarbon accumulation. If we see to this seismic section, we have a T1 well, which is in the northeast area in the Rembang zone. The top of Ujung is hard to be delineated. Ujung has abnormal thickness in here due to complexional tectonic and unconsolidated sediment in the hanging wall. Rembang zone has it's a large anticlinal structure trending southwest northeast and has been identified composed by 5 block compartments. And this another one block, which is block 5 in the northeast. We see in here the anticlinal feature, and to the larger closure, it is bounded by a fault, which is has similar characteristic with the structure that we have discovered recently from drilling. Fault in here were arranged in lap stepping echelon pattern controlled by east-northeast, west-southwest sinistral basement fault. Block 1 has proven filled by hydrocarbon gas with condensate, and we believe that larger accumulation we can expect to the northeast area. One of them is this structure, targeting Ujung. We have evaluated also the source facies in the Rembang zone. The proven source facies is Ngimbang shale with coal. The TOC between 2 to 5% for shale and 12 to 56% for coals. The kerogen type is type 2 and 3, which is oil and gas bone, and at early major. The oil window is around at 4,900 foot from vitrin refractant in R1 well. We have a depot center in here to the west around R1 well. And then also this for Paleogene, and then this for crunchy section thickening in here. So we have 2 depot center in here, at least to the west or southwest, and shifting to the east. The kitchen area in migration pathway in Rembang zone, West Cepu is not clear to be summarized. Distribution of Rembang formation controlled by northeast southwest and east west dispersion. Understanding these two facies very important to know the migration pathway. Migration in Rembang zone generally through a fault, because we have a thick barrier of Kranji in here from source to the reservoir. Numerous oil has been found in the city section, which is yellow horizon, but in general is wet because the structure posted the hydrocarbon generation. So we think that we need the dual maturation in here. Gas charge in this structure, and here is from the late generation. While in the East Cepu High, in here, the Rembang facies has better quality in deep situation. We have 11,000 thick sediment in here, so it is very effective for petroleum system generation. We have high elevated CO2 in here in Rembang zone and also in East Cepu High. It means the carbonate has entered a mature or over mature window. To finding oil in Rembang zone here is still challenging and high risk. Ujung seem to have gas-prone accumulation with some condensate. Exploration, mid-size, small to mid-size company need collaborate in-depth understanding of the area, concept, and prudent risk assessment. Looking for oil should focus on pre-lit Miocene structural from such as drip over basement and carbonate build up from lower Rembang sand, pre-Rembang unit, which is have direct access from source to reservoir, and it will reduce charge risk factor. A concept of East Java microcontinent suggested to look for pre-collision structure, pre-Rembang and intersection of northeast southwest structure. Rembang strong reflector from seismic we see in here has a thick section. Theoretically, early hydrocarbon charge could preserve porosity and permeability of this basalt sand. More study need to ensure such reservoir quality present. As conclusion, East Cepu High has typical trap of high relief carbonate build up, mostly stratigraphic trap. The formation are predate hydrocarbon generation. It has massive accumulation. Rembang zone, West Cepu High is typical trap of anticlinal or fault dependent closure that the formation is presumed post-date of hydrocarbon generation. Lithofacies dominated by skeletal backstone, waxstone, and mudstone that capable to flow gas. Ujung has not direct access to kitchen source. Possible kitchen is in the southwestern area. Recent drilling result was encouraging that Ujung was fulfilled gas entire the section. It is good indication of an improved trap integrity due to anticlinal feature. It is strong sign from late maturation and charge. Ujung has strong seismic reflector and well defined clearly to the east and west, while to the paleo-savage barrier to the north, the reflector is not well delineated. This support interpretation of isolated platform. Ujung in Rembang zone, West Cepu High is likely gas-prone accumulation with condensate. Potential accumulation up deep to northeast with typical closure. Targeting oil in Rembang zone, West Cepu High should focus on pre-lit Miocene structural and stratigraphic trap, predate hydrocarbon generation. I thank you to the management of this Petroleum for this permission to publish this paper on IAGI annual convention and exhibition. Thank you.